Alright guys, I hope you guys can see this video. We're trying to give you guys an idea of how to make some of your own tackle. Today we're going to use a 3/8 ounce jig head. Very much one of those, well, it's a heavy wire, but it's a smaller hook in general. It's a 1/0. So this 1/0 is on a 3/8 ounce swim bait head, and we're going to show you guys how to make a 8-layer craft fur jig, swim bait jig specifically. Essentially though, it's just like any other hair jig, except it has a swim bait head. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to start. Give that base wrap. Okay. We don't want to use a lot of thread. We do not want to use a lot of thread. Sorry, I'm adjusting stuff, guys. It's only the third video for tie-in. So, we've got our craft fur here. There's a lot of different brands. I like to keep mine just like it comes out of the package, folded in half. Makes it a lot easier. And I'll go ahead and I'll cut. You want a lot of material with these, or at least I like a lot of material. So we're gonna pull out all this. It's quite a bit. And then start taking out these fibers. Oh, some people like to use this little brush, and the brush is good, but I mean, yeah, it's taking out little stuff, and okay. You can do the same thing with your fingers. I probably like to use my fingers more than the brush. And you're actually going to get a lot of fibers when you pull with your fingers that you wouldn't get with the brush. But you have to hold it really firm and just pull. Okay, you don't want to go too far up or you're going to start to pull all the hairs out. But this looks good right here. Now you've got a nice, even, long strip of craft fur. It's very important. Okay, so this is one piece of craft fur. It's one layer. We're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to do 4 wraps. And we're going to tie it off. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to separate these. Separate these. Do everything we can. Just, you know, getting this to, spreading this out. And we're going to take it. Fingers, we're going to spread it out each way. Okay. Now we got this, that's the first layer. Get the same amount of hair, exact same amount. It's important. Same thing here. Like I said, the tool's great, and sometimes the tool, but once you really get good with your hands, it's kind of hard to beat the hands. And then got this nice strip here. It's actually a longer strip than before. Well, it's longer a little bit. Now this is synthetic craft fur, so all craft fur is synthetic, but seems like the color white especially, it's thinner. All right, so second layer is gonna go. I'm gonna lay it right on top here. we're going to go ahead and cinch it one time. All right, now it's in place. Now what we're going to do is we're going to spread the upper portion. Now it's not going to cover everything. You know, you're not going to get everything to get. Now I'm going to cinch it one more time here. It's going to hold everything in place. Go ahead and pick out any hairs that are whatever, just strays, stragglers. And so right now we've got two layers, an upper and a top, and we've spread each one out. We've got about 3 inches of material that we're cutting each time off of our craft fur. So the next color we're going to use it's going to be like this beige sand, kind of also could be the camel tan. But it's one of those 3 craft fur colors. It's hard to remember them all. But we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Same amount. 3 inches cut. And next thing you know, 3-inch strip of craft fur. Cut it. It's always got to be just about perfect. I mean, the more of a perfectionist you are, the better your stuff's going to look. So now we've got these 2 sides here, one and the other one underneath, and we're going to fill those in. We're just going to go ahead and 4 wraps. Little piece fell out. Not a big deal. Okay, so 4 wraps. Now we're just gonna cinch it. See it? So what we're gonna do next is we're just gonna spread it out again. Spread it out. Spread out that tan, that sand, or that camel tan, whatever you want to call it, beige. Now look how nice that looks, right? We're going to do that. We're going to flip it and do it on the other side. Okay. Like I said, I just 3 inches. 3 inches. I'm cutting of the craft fur, eyeballing it every time. Makes it quick and easy. Makes it fast. Now right now, guys, we are using, forgot to tell you the thread we're using. We're using GSP gel spun thread, and it's a 140 denier. I like at least 100. Sometimes I think this might be the 140, but I like 140 a lot. I use that a lot on these types of hair jigs. So I went around 6 times. Normally I'd only go around 4, but wanted to make sure I got that craft fur on this side better placed. And so we're just going to spread it out just like we did with the other side. So now we're at 4 layers. Top and bottom is white, sides are tan. Looking at a real nice jig here. Okay. Kind of pull off some of them stray fibers, or just try to clean it up a bit. it gets messy in here. It definitely gets messy. So we're at 4 layers, and the next thing, you know, it's up to you what you want to do at this point, but I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do today. Now on the upper layer, oh, I just cut myself terribly. All right, so for the upper layer, we're going to go with some golden olive craft fur. This is going to be the 5th layer of craft fur on this jig. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Lay it on top. Cinch it, spread it out. All right, so now, whoa, we got a little bit of green that came out. That's not good. Wow. Huh. All right, looks like our green came out. That doesn't make sense. Shouldn't have happened. We'll just cut we'll cut another one. Kind of a waste of material. And like I said, I'm not used to that happening. But it did. Give it a wrap, spread it out. All right, now I'm not sure what my side's looking real nice here. This side's looking nice. This whole jig is starting to shape up. We've got 3 colors. Color contrast, and we're transitioning from lighter to darker colors. Lighter colors on the bottom. Here's white. We're going to do the 6th layer of this jig. Like I said, 3 inches of craft fur exactly. You guys can use less or more, but I've tied a lot of these, so I kind of have it down pretty pat. Next thing you're going to do, turn that up. And now, I'm going to go ahead and cinch it. Whoa. Good old rotary vise. Probably said that wrong just now. All right, so you're going to go ahead and do the same thing again. Spread that white fur. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. You're going to want to pull it very gently. Just trying to lightly angle some of that hair. Now we're going to pull it all back. We're going to clean it up, take some of these fibers off, wrap it 4 times, and we're going to cinch it off. Now, we're almost done, but we're not quite done. Bunch of small fibers here you want to pick out at the bottom. Those aren't going to help you. Not going to look any good. Finished product and stuff. lot of material. Right now, we're at 6 layers. Now, we've got a dark olive green here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut same 3-inch. Pull that out. It gets messy, you know, especially with craft fur. Well, actually, all of it's messy. All of it's messy. And you're gonna go on the sides. And you're going to spread it out. So that's kind of what we've got going on there. Now we're going to do that to the other side. And this is going to be 8, the 8th layer. But we're still not done. Pull out all that hair that we don't want. Take your time with the placement of your hair, your fur, whatever your material is. Take your time. These are absolutely, it's important to work with these, and everything has to be consistent, equal. If you're going to put a layer on top, you got to put a layer on the bottom. So we've essentially got a 4-layer, you know, times 2, 8-layer jig, and it's very balanced. So the amount of flash, the amount of flare and the amount of the color, the transition of the color of the actual jig, everything's just gonna look really natural when we're done, and it's gonna look really good. So we're not quite there just yet. I'm gonna clean up the collar real quick. And now we're gonna go ahead and where is it? It's a lot of this there's a lot of different stuff on the market. This is emulator flash. Really cool stuff. Kind of pricey, but it has a lot of action. So if you guys are fishing colder water situations, you're going to want your emulator flash. Now what I like to do is pull a certain amount out. Say I'll pull that amount out, and I'm going to go ahead and cut half, maybe even a bit more than half of what I pulled out. Start to play around with the play around. I don't want all these the same size. I want the ends of these to be all different lengths. It's going to make the action of the bait much more realistic, and you're just going to slowly pull these until they're equal. You're going to go ahead and take these strands here, four wraps is good. Cinch it in place. Now you're going to spread these out. Take your time. You just want to pull a few lower, down a little bit, a couple a little higher, and you just want to keep doing that until it's very even and looks good. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to take that other half that you left here, cut it. Same thing, you're going to pull these fibers, different lengths. Okay. Pull the emulator, I mean. Okay. Now we're going to get the other half of this jig side, because we got one half with emulator flash. We're going to get the other half. And we're just going to wrap it, cinch it, and spread it out like we did on the other side. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean up the collar. And then we're going to add one layer of flash on top. This time we're going to go with more of a pearl orange type color. And, well, I don't even know where that went. Alright guys, the next thing you know, you're going to go ahead, you're going to wrap this right here, get that collar really nice and clean, pull really hard, really tight when you wrap, slowly wrap when you get towards the very end. You don't want to use more thread than you have to. And then you're just going to go ahead, you're going to cinch it off. And for now, this is completely ready to rock and roll. Might have to trim that tail, looks a bit long here. Trim some of these fibers at the end of that tail. But right now, if you get this wet, all these are going to come together. So right now, I've got a very nice looking jig on that side and on this side. And the only thing left to do is to add eyes and glue them. Alright guys, so here we are. Nice little jig so far. I'm not sure what you guys think, but I'm loving it. This thing starts out, you know, really on that light transition, working up to the darker colors, 8 layers, 3 layers of flash on top, 2 different kinds of emulator flash. We're gonna add some eyes in one moment, let you guys see it when it's all finished. Alright guys, so the next step, got some UV clear fly finish thick eyes, and got our rechargeable infinity light, which I highly recommend you get. Absolutely superior to a lot of the other models. Sometimes people go with big eyes, sometimes people don't. I know a lot of people that just love the big eyes. Some people like the small eyes. I like to go in between most of the time, but there are a few particular times I might go bigger on the eyes, specifically if I'm tying something that's saltwater related, or something like maybe for striper. This one right here will catch a lot of different species of fish, but right now we're gonna go for largies with this, largemouth, spotted bass, maybe even some smallmouth, lake trout. That's what we're gonna target with this particular pattern. So we're just gonna go ahead and, you know, just cure that up, and then do the other side. Right here, this is really thick glue, so we don't need an insane amount or anything. I could put a drop and just go ahead and very patiently let that drop slide down over the eye. Now you can add more glue if you want. You know, make sure that eye, you know, never comes out, but I rarely have any issues with the eyes coming out, or I just drop it right, or kind of dab it, allow a drop to hit and give it a few seconds. This is thick, so if you go medium, thin, or flow, you know, depending on what you're using, it's not going to run slow, it's going to run really fast. It's not going to allow you to do what I'm doing right here as easy. And so we're just going to go ahead and cure this. I like to cure mine a lot longer than other people. That's just my preference. I do have a very powerful light, the most powerful on the market, but that doesn't change the fact that I like my stuff really cured well. And then so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue the collar and then cure that. And then we're done, guys. That's about it. So I'm not going to make you, I mean, pretty much for the collar, we're just going to add a little bit of glue. A little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue there, just lightly glue it. And that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is an 8-layer jig, 3 layers of emulator flash, 2 different colors, and a 3, well, it's actually a 4-tone color with the 4 different colors in the craft fur. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and you know, this does quite well for me, catches me a lot of fish, and I think it'll do well for you guys too. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.